Hello, good evening, everyone. How was your day? Today is the day three of our training on professional diploma in peace and sustainable development. This is the day three of this 1 month training, and this 1 month training is going to be a whole lot of experience. We're going to learn a lot of things as regards to peace and sustainable development. For us to enjoy sustainable peace, we must experience sustainable development. All right, so this is what we are looking at today. So sustainable peace cannot be achieved without sustainable development, and of course sustainable development cannot be achieved without sustainable peace. This is what we're here to learn, so that we can put some things in place to make sure that we enjoy sustainable peace, and of course by extension enjoy sustainable development. So I would like to welcome all of you for today's training, and being your anchor, I'm Mr. Tavle Joshua, the registrar of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. It's my humble pleasure to welcome all of you for today's training, and I hope that we're going to have a wonderful time enjoying this training together. All right, so make time to be part of it. Try to overcome network no matter what to be part of today's training. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for connecting to be part of this training. So let me know where you're joining us from, your name, your country, so that we know. And of course, for those of you that have been selected from Namibia, Uganda, Togo, and which country? No, Congo, Namibia, Uganda. I think 4 countries. So we'll be having training with you. The training will start on Friday for those of you that apply to represent us in your country. All right. So do way to be part of today's meeting. So do way to be part of today's meeting. No matter what happens, try and overcome the network. Japhet, you're welcome. Japhet from Cote d'Ivoire, thank you for joining us. And then Collins from Kenya, thank you. We are looking for coordinators. We have coordinators in Kenya, but they are far apart. We need representatives to come from Nairobi, those that are based in Nairobi. So if you are in Nairobi and you want to represent the institute in your country, you will let us know so that we can interview you and so they can be part of us in Kenya as well. All right, so thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. And we are going to continue from where we stopped. We are looking at peace and sustainable development. Of course, Pastor Ayo from Anambra State, you're welcome. And today we're going to look at module 3. We have looked at module 1 and 2. No, we have looked at unit 1 and 2 of module 1. So today we're going to unit 3. All right, unit 3 is what we're looking at today. Unit 3 is what we're looking at today. All right, so thank you. You people on the YouTube, let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know where you're joining us from, please. Your name, because you are not commenting. I want to see your comments. Comment. Let us know where you're joining us from, your name, your country, so that we can identify with you. And you are welcome. We don't have anybody in Cote d'Ivoire yet. Yes, Japhet, we don't have anybody in Cote d'Ivoire yet. So maybe what you can do, for us is that you will send us either your CV. Just send us your CV, and then through WhatsApp or through our email. All right. So our our email, let me just give you our email so that you can send it through our email or through our WhatsApp. Let me give you our WhatsApp number: +234 80 77 98 77 57 +234 80 77 98 77 57. That is our official WhatsApp line. You can send us your CV there. We'll attend to you, or you can put it at info at igpcm.com.ng. That's our email, official email. Info as in INFO at the symbol of at igpcm.com.ng. That is our official email. You can send us your CV there, or you can send us to our WhatsApp line, and then we attend to you. Are we together? Yes. We have Pastor Edward from Port Harcourt joining us on YouTube. You're welcome, sir. And anybody on YouTube, you can let us know. Mr. Tor from Brno, you're welcome. Emmanuel from Ghana, you are welcome. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of you. And Patrick Nwanko Peter from Port Harcourt or Nigeria, you're welcome. All right. Mohammed from Jos, you're welcome. Cosmos from Lagos, you are welcome. Ambassador Cosmos, member from Lagos, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Yes, that is a number, Japhet. That is the number, but you have to put +234 if you are in Côte d'Ivoire, so that you can be able to reach out to us. All right, so let's start today. Today we're going to look at global governance and international organization. Global governance and international organization. The issue of sustainable development, like we have seen yesterday, the issue of sustainable development goals, the SDGs that we talked about yesterday. We have institutions that are in charge of these goals to see that they have been implemented. And one of those institutions is the United Nations. All right, United Nations is spearheading the implementation of this, or is coordinating the implementation of these SDGs, all right? And all the countries, member states, adopted the resolutions of the United Nations as regards to the SDGs, the targets, the goals. They have adopted them, and they are implementing them collectively or individually as nations, states, and they are implementing those goals. So, but we have governance, governing institutions that are overseeing the implementation of these goals. Do you understand? So there's a coordination, all right? And so we have those institutions that are coordinating the implementation of these united, or these sustainable development goals. And so one of those institutions, like we say, is the United Nations. So we're going to look at the role of United Nations and other international bodies in the implementation of the sustainable development goals, or as it refers to development around the world. All right. So this is what we're going to look at today. So first and foremost, we want to observe the role of the United Nations. The United Nations as a body was formed around in 1945 after the Second World War, to see that there is no breakout of another war and it has been playing that role to make sure that it regulates the occurrence of World War, the Third World War. All right, so even when there are agitation that there's going to be a Third World War, we have not seen it happen. Okay, because we have an institution on ground that is helping to regulate and to control those reactions. All right, so Ramesa from Lesotho, and also Kutoro from Botswana, Patricia from Zambia, you are all welcome, and Hakim from Ethiopia, you are all welcome. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And Siwali from our coordinator from Zambia, you are welcome. You joke, Ethiopia, thank you. And Olayinka from Nigeria, thank you. All of you, thank you. All right, so we have the United Nations that has been playing the role and has been coordinating a lot of activities to see that we enjoy global peace. All right, so the United Nations has been at the forefront to be that institution that is providing governance so far as concerns sustainable development. All right, so let's look at some of the roles, the key functions that the United Nations is playing. One of those roles is peace and security. All right, the United Nations Security Council is responsible for maintaining international peace and security, and they have been doing that. All right, that's why sometimes certain decisions may be taken by the United Nations Security Council members may counter it, and then it dies down. Do you understand? And that's why we have not experienced the Third World War, because that is arm of the United Nations has been doing a lot to make sure that we enjoy peace in our nations, in our world. All right. So United Nations Security Council has been authorizing peacekeeping missions and has been providing sanctions to make sure that those warring parties, reduce their act of war and embrace peace. And those sanctions have been doling out. I think they have sent their forces on military or peacekeeping activities in several countries, including African countries. We have seen it in Sierra Leone. We have seen it in Liberia. We have seen it in several places that the United Nations has been using their peacekeeping to missions to resolve or intervene or mediate in conflicts. All right, so Ambassador Tamba, our member from Cameroon, you are also welcome, and of course Ruth from Ethiopia, you're welcome. So one of the roles that United Nations plays is to provide peace and security. Do you understand? To provide what? The provision of peace and security globally. So where there are issues that needs for the intervention of the United Nations, they intervene. Where there's need for them to condemn, they condemn. Do you understand? So the United Nations has been doing that over time, and we appreciate them for the role they have been playing, so that there will be no Third World War. Otherwise, by now, we would have, even the Fourth World War, would have fought. But that by the intervention of the United Nations, we have not had that. Then the issue of human rights. The United Nations Human Rights Council also and other human rights institutions work to promote and protect human rights globally. Otherwise, there are institutions and even individuals that abuses people's rights. Do you understand? All right. So they monitor human rights abuse and hold violators accountable. I think we have in Africa here, one of those people that we held accountable is the former president of Liberia, all right, Charles Taylor. All right, Charles Taylor was one of those guys that were so abusive in trying to handle issues in their countries. So even though he was a president, at his end of his tenure, he was prosecuted. Do you understand? He was prosecuted, and that is why it is. So human rights, United Nations works to protect our human rights so that our rights will not be abused. Otherwise, there are tendencies that people can abuse your rights. Sometimes that's why even if your rights are abuses at local level, you can take the case at the international level and you get justice. That's why we have International Court of Justice. If you are not able to get justice in your country, you can obtain it at the international level, of course. Do you understand? So that's what it is. And then we talk about sustainable development. Of course, United Nations has been working to ensure that we enjoy sustainable development around the world. It's just that in some cases, we may not be able to see that because of conflict. All right, and some of these conflicts are inherent in our systems. Like, for instance, in Nigeria, some of the conflicts that we see in Nigeria are inherent in the system, and that's why sometimes it's very difficult to even attract development. We have been receiving developmental aid, but those aids are amount to nothing. We have been receiving intervention funds, but those funds end up in people's pockets. They have not amount to anything. Do you understand? So, and some of these things are systemic, and systemic corruptions also affecting development. But the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals came to help advance the issue of sustainable development and, of course, sustainable peace, because we believe that if those things are not put in place, we will not be able to enjoy peace. All right. So if we are not able to eradicate poverty, if we are not able to eradicate inequality or reduce it, if we are not able to eradicate the issue of climate change, we are not able to eradicate environmental degradation, then the issue of peace will be but a mirage. All right, we'll not be able to achieve that because there are factors that are supposed to enhance and influence the attendance and the attainment rather of sustainable development. All right. So Daka from Zambia, you're welcome. Obichi Cynthia, our ambassador, you're welcome. From Anambra. So another function and another role of United Nations, or the role that United has been playing, is the issue of humanitarian assistance. The international organizations such like the United Nations Refugee Agency and the World Food Program, which are all arms of the United Nations, have been providing humanitarian assistance to people affected by conflict, like what is happening in Gaza. All right, the United Nations has been providing humanitarian aid in those countries. Do you understand? And they have been enjoying it. They have been surviving. They have been getting succor from that provision, and they have been surviving. Otherwise, hunger would have dealt with them. But by this intervention, they have been able to get results from those provisions. Do you understand? Even though in war, sometimes there are limitations. All right, sometimes, like what's happening between Palestinians and Israelis, sometimes the Israeli government will limit even the supply of humanitarian aid. Do you understand? Then that, and then causing severe damages to the welfare of the Palestinians. So it is in war, sometimes you see those kind of limitations and challenges. But United Nations has been spearheading the provision of humanitarian assistance to those countries. Do you understand? And they have been receiving help. And so it's very important that we have to take recognition, recognize the effort of the United Nations in providing humanitarian aid to those in need. And then we'll talk about global health. Yes, United Nations has been on its toes to make sure that we enjoy, the global health of the people is in a good shape. And through the World Health Organization, the United Nations have been providing interventions, medical interventions, healthcare interventions in many countries. All right, they have been bringing programs, bringing medical solutions, developing vaccines, and then providing those vaccines to countries. So when the issue of COVID-19 came, United Nations, through its organization, through its arm, the World Health Organization, was on top of the situation to make sure that a vaccine is developed to address the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, we're able to get solution. And today, And of course, the United Nations was not just on the forefront to see that vaccine has been produced, but they were giving information. Information was very critical at that time for us to be able to protect ourselves from, contacting the virus. So it was very, very important that those information were able to, made available for us to, get ourselves safe from those viruses. So it's very important, and United Nations has been playing that role. Another role that United Nations has been playing is the environmental protection, right? United Nations has been also protecting the environment from degradation. Do you understand? And that's why we are talking about the issue of climate change agreement, the Paris Agreement. United Nations has spearheaded those and the attainment of that agreement there. And of course, now is for member states to contribute to make sure that they implement those agreements. But some of these countries are still proving to be stubborn, like the United Nations several times have threatened to out of that agreement. I don't know whether Trump has finally opted out or they're still there. All right, but it is part of the challenges that we're having. But the United Nations is making effort to make sure that the environment is protected through the United Nations Environment Program. They have been doing a lot to achieve environmental stability for us to enjoy a good environment. Of course, the issue of biodiversity loss and then pollution through what international agreements, they have been able to address those pollutions and reduce contamination of our air and our environment. Then another functions that United Nations is making it to happen is trade and economic development through the World Trade Organization. For us in Nigeria, we know that our own daughter and our own mother is the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She is the Director General. She finished her term. I think she got a renewal. Do you understand? And she is doing well representing our nation there. So through this institution and trade regulations, trade policies are being formulated to ensure that lesser or countries that are being considered as underdeveloped are not being cheated in the international trade. Do you understand? So the World Trade Organization has been there to provide policies that will protect countries that may not be considered as developed countries to trade effectively with the developed nations. Do you understand? Without being victimized, without being, cheated. So these are the issues. So we welcome all of you. Rosemary, thank you. Samuel Ngban, thank you for joining. And then Cynthia Lewichi from Anambra, thank you, our ambassador. And then our ambassador, Prince Henry Kefa, also thank you for joining us. Of course, Kopa from Lesotho, thank you. And our ambassador, is Her Excellency, or Her Royal Highness, rather, Beatrice Ambrose. Whoa, you are welcome. All right, so let's also look at some of the other functions or roles that the United Nations is playing. Talk about a legal framework. International organizations help develop and uphold international laws, treaties, and conventions that govern behavior among nations and provide a framework for resolving disputes peacefully. And we have International Court of Justice, all right, International Criminal Court, all right. All of them provide legal frameworks that even ensure our rights. Do you understand? Protect our rights. That's why I said before that if you do not get justice in your own nation, you can get it at the international court. Do you understand? So if Nigeria government abuse your right or your home country abuse your rights, you can take your case to the International Court of Justice and you can get justice. All right? If you cannot get it at home, you get it at the international communities. So far as your country is a member state of the United Nations, then of course you can get justice. Except when I, I remember, I remember when there was an order against the Israeli prime minister, and he was to visit Hungary. And Hungary is a member of the International Court of Justice, and there's a warrant arrest against Israeli prime minister. And what happened? The Hungary government, they have to step down their membership from the International Court of Justice to enable the prime minister of the Israel to visit Hungary. Do you understand? That's the international politics for you anyway. But you can get justice so far as the International Court of Justice is concerned. When the issue of Bakassi Peninsula came up, and the conflict between Nigeria and Cameroon came up, what happened? The Cameroonian government took the case to the International Court of Justice, right? In fact, they did not get justice at the ECOWAS court, so they have to take it to the International Court, and they got justice, and the Bakassi Peninsula was handed over to Cameroon. Is it not so? So the United Nations has been doing its bit to make sure that we enjoy global peace.